an eviction order in an apartment in Al-Shaab, Kuwait, which has been unoccupied for some time. The Kuwaiti police were surprised to find the cadaver of a Filipino household service worker, later identified as Joanna Daniela Immaculis, inside the freezer. Her body bore torture marks and indications that she was strangled to death. A review of the incidents of violence, curtailment of freedom, and abuse of basic human rights committed against Filipino workers overseas, especially household service workers in Kuwait, revealed the data so repugnant it compels us to ask what we in government has been doing all these years to protect and give justice to our helpless sons and daughters, brothers and sisters. Sad to state, it seems that our government is as inutile as our foreign workers are helpless in the present state of things. This is a national shame, and yet we proclaim the OFWs the modern heroes of our republic. Our words and action simply do not match. Consider the following data. In Kuwait alone in 2016, there were 82 reported deaths of OFWs. In 2017, the number reportedly increased to 120. On January 25, 2017, OFW Jakay Tia Bawa was executed for the alleged killing of a 22-year-old daughter of her employee in 2007. A crime she claimed up to the day of her execution she never committed. On the day of Bawa's execution, a Filipino domestic helper died in a hospital after a severe beating in the hands of her Kuwaiti employee. I need not go into the specifics of every harm and abuse that our OFWs have been subjected to. They can be discussed sometime or other times in another form. But let me ask, when will this inhuman treatment of our Filipino workers end? When will the upliftment of their human dignity begin? To the Kuwaiti government and all others where our OFWs work, we seek and expect your assistance in this regard. We do not seek special treatment or privileges for our workers, but we do expect respect for their dignity and basic human rights. Keep them free from harm. I implore you, nakikiusap ako sa lahat ng mga Arabo. The Filipino is no slave to anyone, anywhere and everywhere. Every unlawful physical injury that is inflicted on an OFW is an injury I personally bear as the head of this republic. Every abuse committed against an OFW is an affront against us as a sovereign nation. I ask that our overseas Filipino workers is that their dignity is honored and the rights of human beings upheld and respected. Present to you a Filipino worker, hale and hearty, determined to work in his heart out in order to give his family a decent and comfortable life in the Philippines. Do not give us back a battered worker or a mutilated corpse. If the Philippine government is reduced to helplessness because other foreign governments do not heed our request to protect and give justice to our overseas Filipino workers within the limits that their laws allow, then let me say this both as a matter of personal conviction and national policy. I am ready to take drastic steps that would help preserve Filipino life and limb. We do not intend to offend any government or anyone. But if a ban is what is needed, then let it be so. The ban continues today, and I don't know at what time. I declared it early this morning because I was reading this report complete with pictures, aeroplano. Putang, hindi ko naman sigmura. It is totally unacceptable. Kung wala rin lang akong magawa sa Pilipino tapos ganito, eh wala akong silbi dito pagka-presidente. Umalis na lang ako. What for? Tignan ninyo, kasi kung in-hotel talaga, let me know. Parang hindi ako pwedeng ganito. Of course, we need the help of Kuwait. Now, alam mo mga taga-Kuwait, you guys, unless in the Kuwait nation, there was this friction created because Iraq invaded Kuwait many years ago. And that war and its repercussions continued. So that the American government was always on its toes because Iraq entertained